Hey, it's Corinne, your mental performance coach for everyday life, and welcome back to Everyday MVP. Have you noticed that during stressful times or times of overwhelm, you're more on edge and you feel like you have less control over your emotions? I know for me during these times, I tend to get defensive quickly and I also react more quickly. When I react this way, that definitely puts stress on my family, my husband, my kids, and it can cause everyone to be on edge and put up their guard. Does this happen to you? Tell me I'm not the only one. And if you're feeling like the connections with your loved ones are a little strained right now, this episode is for you. Today, I want to talk about emotional acceptance and how emotions are neither good nor bad, they just are. One of the very first steps to increasing our emotional regulation is changing the relationship we have with our emotions. Because the goal isn't to get rid of emotions, it's to learn how to be with them. Emotional acceptance is the ability to accept your emotions as just that, an emotion. In and of themselves, emotions are not good or bad. They can feel scary, especially when they're intense, but they are still just an emotion. Learning how to accept your emotions takes practice. And like anything else, the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. And I want to be really clear about this part. Acceptance is not agreement. You do not have to like the feeling that you're feeling, but you can accept that you are feeling it. When you're able to accept your emotions, it doesn't just help you internally, it allows you to have better connections with the people you love. So many of us try to run away from our emotions. We try to avoid them, we distract from them, or we shove them way down. But emotions are going to happen whether we like it or not, because we're human. You are a human being. You are not exempt from feeling things. And here's the thing, avoiding emotions doesn't make them go away, it actually makes them stronger. Here's something important to remember, emotions are like waves. They come in, they peak, and they pass. They come in, they come out. No emotion lasts forever. It physiologically can't. What makes it feel like it does is the story we tell ourselves about it. So today is really all about looking at the relationship you have with your emotions. Now, before we go any further, I want you to pause for a moment. Take a deep breath in and let it out. One more. In and out. Now just check in with yourself. What emotion are you feeling right now? There's nothing to fix, nothing to judge, just notice. That's exactly what noticing your emotions is for. Giving yourself a moment to see them clearly. And when we do that, we can start to recognize something important. Every emotion we feel is part of being human. So now that you've noticed what you're feeling, I want you to take a moment to think about your relationship with your emotions. Ask yourself, are you judging them? Are you over identifying with them? Are you comparing them to what someone else might be feeling? Just notice. No fixing yet. Awareness is the first step because you can't change something you are not aware of. I also want you to notice which emotions you're most uncomfortable with. I'm used to people being uncomfortable with like sadness or anger because I'm used to be, or I used to be uncomfortable with them too. And I sometimes still am. And I've worked on it. But what really opened my mind was realizing that many people are also uncomfortable with happiness and joy. I had a client once who told me she was uncomfortable with happiness because she didn't feel it very often. And when she did, she was always waiting for it to end. She was actually more comfortable feeling sad because that emotion was familiar. That was a huge reminder to me, or like a huge eye-opening experience, reminding me like discomfort with emotions isn't about whether they're good or bad. It's familiarity, uncertainty, and sometimes feeling unworthy. So I want you to know this: being a human being makes you worthy of all emotions, every single one. And here's the key: they're not here to hurt you. Your emotions are feedback. They are giving you information that you can use to help guide yourself towards what you might need or want to do next. So stop sabotaging yourself by ruminating on an emotion because you're afraid of the uncertainty and unfamiliarity. Sit with it. Let it be. Allow it to become more comfortable simply by allowing it to exist. We also need to pay attention to how we talk about our emotions, because the way we speak about them shapes the way we experience them. Over-identifying with an emotion sounds like telling yourself you're a bad person for feeling angry, or you're weak or too sensitive because you're feeling sad. It does show up in our language, like saying, I am sad, instead of I am feeling sad. You know the difference? One is telling yourself how you are feeling, the other is telling you that you are that feeling. You are not your emotion. Another pattern to notice is comparison. Comparing our pain or our joy to others minimizes what we are feeling. And when we minimize our emotions, we can't fully process them or heal from them. Once you notice which emotions make you uncomfortable and which ones you're over-identifying with and where you're comparing yourself to others, that's where real change begins. And one of the best tools to start is mindfulness. Mindfulness means noticing emotions without over-identifying with them, without judging them, or without comparing them. So not over-identifying means you stop telling yourself you're weak for feeling sad or out of control for feeling angry. Not judging means you stop labeling emotions as good or bad. And not comparing means you stop minimizing your pain or invalidating your joy because of what others have gone through. It also means to stop telling yourself you shouldn't be feeling this way. We tend to judge and over-identify and compare emotions that we're least familiar with. And those emotions are different for everyone. Like I said earlier with my client, some people are going to be more familiar with happiness or contentment. Others are going to be more familiar with sadness or depression. Discomfort often comes from what feels unfamiliar. So if you feel happiness, let it in. Don't push it away because you think it won't last or because you don't feel worthy of it. Sit with it, be present with it, and notice how it shows up in your body. And if you feel sadness or fear or anger, don't try to ignore it or shove it down. Feel it. Allow it in. Notice where it lives in your body. Let it guide you toward understanding what you need, what matters, and how you might respond in a way that actually serves you. The more you practice noticing your emotions without judgment, without trying to change them, the more natural it becomes. You start to see them for what they are, information, and not a reflection of your worth or strength. So the goal is simple. Notice your emotions without labeling them, without minimizing them, and without becoming them. When you do that, you can sit with discomfort more effectively. The second part of mindfulness has 3 steps: observe, describe, and participate. First, observe the emotion. What are you feeling? And if you can't quite fully identify what you're feeling, you can use an emotion wheel. Just Google it. There are a lot. Then, once you pinpoint what you're feeling, I want you to name it out loud. Say, I am feeling sad. Notice I didn't say I am sad, because that small shift matters. You are not your emotion, like I said earlier. Next, after you observe it, you're going to describe what that emotion feels like in your body, or where you're feeling it in your body. Is your chest tight? Are your eyes wet? Is your jaw clenched or locked? Do you have butterflies in your stomach? Just notice and describe. We're not fixing, we're not judging. Finally, you're going to participate with the emotion in the most effective way. What's effective will depend on you and the situation. So if you're scared, maybe the most effective action is staying instead of leaving. If you're angry, maybe it's taking a 5-minute walk or talking with someone. If you need to cry, go cry. The goal is to participate with the emotion effectively. When you respond in a way that serves you, the emotion doesn't linger. It can pass and you can move forward. I'll give you an example. When I'm mad, honestly at anyone, but at my husband, I want to leave, and I don't want to talk about it because I just am frustrated and I'm not great with my words. And this is not effective for me because then I ruminate on all the reasons that I should be angry at him, and my anger grows. My most effective action when I'm angry is to actually stay and talk it out. And that is hard for me to do. And I do it. And instead of my anger hanging around for hours because I've built on it, it hangs out just for a few minutes because I'm able to say what I need to say and I feel heard. So here's your challenge for today. Notice which emotions you're uncomfortable with. Notice which emotions you're over-identifying with, and pay attention to how you're talking about your emotions. And write them down, the ones that you're unfamiliar with, in your phone, on a piece of paper, along with how you over-identify, compare, or judge them. Then start shifting your language using mindfulness. Let the emotion come. You're going to name it, describe where it's at in your body, and you're going to choose your next move, the one that's most effective and is actually going to serve you. Remember, accepting your emotions doesn't just help you feel more grounded inside. It strengthens your connections with the people you love on the outside. So take a deep breath, Mindfulness team. Your most valuable player is you. Every day is a new day. Breathe in, breathe out. You've got this.